Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to another TW9 video. You join us for the 6th episode of 21st Century Wrestling, where we hope to become not just the best of British wrestling, but the best of world wrestling, eventually. It's been a tricky learning curve so far, definitely a reality check of how these kind of saves always start out. The first couple of months are a bit tough, but I've been scurrying through the 21st Century Wrestling thread on Greydog Software forums, just seeing how others are doing, getting a little bit of an idea of how the AI have handled them. It's going to be a challenge, but I think once we nail it, we'll be fine. But I'm hoping we can get a lot of characters over in a period of time, and as I say, a tricky start for hopefully a positive main time. I don't know, just a very. I'm just hoping that in like say 6 months time, game time, like we will have like a proper real core of good young talents that will be at a good level to take the company forward, and not firmly relying on anyone with the surname Cornell. But anyway, sit back, relax. This is another episode on the road to World War. Let's see if we can finally have 5 hot storylines and not lose pop. Let's do it. So I want to hope this all makes sense since I have booked it over the course of the last 2 days, and memory is a bit like a fish. So we're sold out here at Kent Racecourse, 5,000 in attendance. And we start the show with the leader of the House of Business in the ring, of course, that is Edward Cornell. And he says, so it seems Team Cornell is starting to apparently get the one up on the House of Business. Well, that's bullshit. That's what I call that. This is just all talk and just Tommy trying to get one over his cousin. So tonight I'm going to show all of you how it's done. I'm going to give you the match that you really, really desire. I'm going to give you Edward Cornell versus Jack Bruce. So clearly hinting that he wanted to face Tommy there, but says it's going to be him versus Jack Bruce. He says, Bruce, you think you can waltz in here and be a rock star? Well, I'm here to take out those dodgy knees and send you packing back to the States. So we continue the storyline. It gains heat. Big main event then, Edward Cornell versus Jack Bruce in this segment. Gathered an 86 rating. And much better. That's what we love to see. Hopefully that main event can deliver, because they say the majority of the show will be relying on that promo and that main event. So we'll see how it does. We start off with a matchup that had a decent reaction from our crowd and Subpar Wrestling. Bedlam continues creating Bedlam as he defeated Reese Pendragon in 6:57 with the Bedlam Bomb. This was our storytelling match of the evening in the opener. 51 for the wrestling rating and the crowd rating, but the segment with a 57. Reese was off his game, but Bedlam with a very solid 67. We then have our weekly vignette. This one actually done quite well, 33 for the rating compared to what we were getting before, so I don't think we rated this one on his overness. Maybe changed up a little. But we just did a few wee words here. It's the weekly vignette for El Di Marisco before he actually debuts in ring, and it said he had to enjoy the freedom of going off script and performing well. So you can see there, pre-tape, serious video done as an outside broadcast. That's what it went for, and it worked. Next up, we had a decent matchup where the Northern Lights defeat the Red Devils in 10:44 when Alton Vicious pinned Yuri Alikov with a lights out. So the House of Business taking an L here to the Northern Lights. 67 for the wrestling, 60 for the crowd, only 58 for the segment. You can see here some good performances. Is this maybe hampered by a lack of storyline? Yep, thought that, but it all makes sense at one point down the line. We then cut backstage to the trainer's room and we see Reese Pendragon getting some attention after his physical match with Bedlam. Tommy Cornell then enters the ring and he just goes, Reese, you really need to stop doing this. You're going to hurt yourself, and I'm going to have horrible grammar. I have to do this, Tommy. I have to prove myself that to you I can hang with the best, that I belong with Team Cornell at World War. Tommy says, Reese, I'm sorry, I just don't think you're ready yet. And he looks utterly stunned, utterly appalled. A 61 segment here. Reese obviously struggles and it was a bit underwhelming. Tommy looks good, but you hope being involved in these segments can only benefit him. We then had a little hype package for our upcoming debuting tag team, and it was of course Chris Knightley and Michael Gregory alongside their manager Jasmine Perlo. 28 for the segment. It's just basically saying better than you, stronger than you, more handsome than you, and soon to debut in 21st Century Wrestling. It's Drop Dead Gorgeous. I can't remember for the top of my head why I called them Drop Dead Gorgeous. It was named after a song, and I've completely had a brain fart to who sang it. So this is where I'm going to find out. It was Republica, of course. They sang a song that always used to play for Park at the football, so that's how it is. So that's what they're named after. Republica's song Drop Dead Gorgeous. So straight into action they go. They take on Absolutely Flawless. I thought, do you know what? Put them straight in a match, and that will hopefully get them some overness just being on television in that sort of capacity. And they were about here that had subpar wrestling and little heat, as Absolutely Flawless defeated Drop Dead Gorgeous at 11:40 when Lance Martin pinned Chris Knightley with the Reflection Perfection. Chris Knightley was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone else's performance, so that's pretty good on Michael Gregory though, getting a 44 despite not being particularly over. Obviously him and Jasmine have good chemistry, they are an item together, but I felt like Absolute Flawless have had a few defeats. They need a victory as well, so I feel hopefully all of that can help them going forward. Then a little promo from the three-man army, and this was, of course, Mark Adonis, Beast Bantam, and Mass Hulk. All the words here are spoken by Adonis, with Beast and Mass in the background looking angry. And he just says, Storm and Sifu, what's this malarkey trying to stand up to the three-man army? Well, I'll tell you what, lads, it ain't going to happen. The three of us are going to kick your arses and show you who the true tough guys of 21st Century Wrestling are. So, 65, Adonis worked well with the crowd. And just continuing on that storyline. Actually done quite well. I think obviously Lee Burton's carried it, but that went well. Decent matchup here with Lee Burton, the number one contender, defeat the Welsh Dragon in 11:49 with a sleeper hold. This match was designed as a steal the show matchup, which 66, not too bad, 62 crowd rating, and the segment itself a 71, giving him some momentum going forward. We then go backstage again to the locker room with the Northern Lights celebrating their victory from earlier on this evening before Tommy Cornell enters the dressing room. Gentlemen, terrific performance tonight, a real class act. Now I'm going to cut straight to the point. We need 2 more men for our team at World War. Can we count on you guys? Vicious and Jordan look at each other, they turn to Cornell, they both nod their heads and say, hell yeah. So there we go, it's going to be the Northern Lights, Tommy Cornell, Jack Bruce, Adam Matravers against the House of Business. 5-on-5 World War match, whatever that may be. So 73 segment's pretty good. Riddick Jordan not too good, but Cornell and Vicious improvised well. Good to see. Next up, we debuted our women's division with the crowd going yay, with their crowd rating of 1. I was tempted to do like a little segment, but I thought we'll just put them in the ring straight away and we'll see how it goes down. So it was an abysmal match, and it was Cassio Peter defeating Felicia Luck, Thea Davis, and Maisie Laurels when Cassio Peter pinned Thea Davis in 7:51. 34 for the wrestling rating, the crowd won, and the segment 27. You can see they're both kind of quite level on their performances in the 35s there, 36 for Thea and 28 for Maisie. A few different gimmicks there, ass kicker, fiery babyface, snobbing, amazing Maisie. It starts the women's storyline, obviously it's not going to get massively over here, but overall mostly good in terms of gimmicks, and obviously they need to get over, so that will take a bit of time. And after the match, Cassio Peter prevails as the winner of the first ever women's match, I think, in 21st Century Wrestling history, just in case there's been any prior in the C-verse that I don't know about. She stands on the top rope for the crowd booing before unfamiliar music plays in the arena. We have 4 women on the roster, we'll now make it 5. This is the debut of Unstoppable Ty, a sure to be dominant force in our women's division. She stands at the top of the ramp looking extremely intimidating. It's obviously not particularly over because she is obviously from Japan, but women's division has advanced. Her monster gimmick got an adequate rating and a 22 for the segment. I think the plan is just to keep our women's division in one storyline at the moment until we can properly expand it. We have the 21st Century Champion in the ring. It is, of course, Wade Orson, and he's got a few words for not just Lee Burton, but Forrest Charmer as well. So last week, Lee Burton decided he wanted to challenge me to a 30-minute Iron Man match at World War, and as a fighting champion, yes, I would normally accept. However, in this situation, I want him to prove that he and Forrest Charmer are not in an alliance, and they're not in this together. So next week, I want Forrest Charmer versus Lee Burton. Burton kick his ass, and the match is yours. I'll be watching. So we're looking to get a title match sealed and delivered, but we'll have Charmer versus Burton next week in a 73 rated segment. And the main event, fantastic heat and decent wrestling. Jack Bruce defeated Edward Cornell in 1839 by countout. He wanted nothing to do with him. Only a 72 for the wrestling, an 87 for the crowd rating, and a 76 for the segment. Edward Cornell was off his game. The storyline advances, doesn't gain heat. Jack Bruce only bringing a 66. Is anything stung us here? Inconsistency, physical condition. That's not good for the future, is it? If you're getting that already. But yeah, Edward Cornell wanting nothing to do with the finish. And Edward Cornell just walks up the ramp and he takes the count out loss to Jack Bruce. And all you can hear is him saying, Brucey, you and Cornell can cheer all you want. When it comes to World War, I will have the last laugh. So a 75 here. The angle idea that we utilised here was a success. Maybe boosted it a little bit. Storyline advanced but lost a bit of heat. And Cornell has worked the crowd well. I don't think we're going to have 5 strong storylines. I think we're going to lose Pop here. We are, but it's getting better. So the broadcast company will be happy because we got higher than a 67 because we changed this time slot. But still losing popularity in 6 regions. The show increased their popularity in the 33 across the world. The general feeling is that we still don't have enough rated hot. We have probably 4, which is a bit annoying. So you can see the address the locker room, no injuries, which is good. Financial report, we made 68k, so we are 8.6 million in the black. Popularity recap, you can see there, we're so close to dropping company size. As soon as that goes to 76, it's going to be bad times and nothing with the media scrum. So I'm just going to let us go back to the home screen here just to give you an idea of how we are with storylines. And I guarantee it's going to be obviously 4 hot and the rest will be... If I can find them, thank you. So hot, very hot, very hot, a little cold in our tag division, a little cold in Armed, Armed and Dangerous, hot for that one for the UK Championship, and the women's division is extremely cold, and that probably will stay like that until we get them over, so that'll take a bit of time. So 4, 98.5, so realistically we need to start pushing. That's why I gave the promo and hoped that the Adonis promo could maybe carry it so hot. Same again with, we'll maybe need to do some more stuff with Jonathan Faust. But we are, how many days away? 15 days away from World War. So yeah, 2 more episodes of the best of British wrestling before the big pay-per-view. It's going to take a bit of time, but hopefully we'll get there eventually. Please. But take it easy. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. A wee thumbs up is appreciated. Any comments? Let me know how you're looking on with TW just in general, whether it's in the Cverse or anywhere else. Take it easy. Check out the Grey Dog Software Forums, Fantasy Booker subreddit, and twdv.com for all your TW needs. And I'll catch you next time for some more 21st Century Wrestling. Bye bye.